Thank you, everybody, for joining. My name is Pete Newbig, CEO, co-founder of VPM Solutions. I have Brian and Stephanie Hughes, that they are the co-founders and co-owners of BizDevMastermind.com. And they have actually built a course for us at VPM. So we actually have a course. I think it's like what is like an assistant BDM course, basically.
Yeah,
Yep. So they're good partners of ours. We appreciate them, and they actually have an offsite or an onsite um, deal going on next. Was a week from Tuesday?
yeah. February 25th, in a little less than 2 weeks here in San Antonio, Texas, the BizDev seminar. We're going to be going over all things business development, from start to finish.
Excellent. And you have do you guys have a something they can sign up for on the presentation today?
Yeah, absolutely. If you just go to bizdevseminar.com, you can look there to get your tickets, and we'll certainly, I can send you a link to share out there. Maybe Steph can put in the chat the link to the seminar as well.
You got it. All right.
Yeah.
With no further ado, Brian, Stephanie, go ahead and present.
All
We do
right.
we keep them at around 23 minutes on purpose because when I
Mhm.
ran Empire, I had 23 remote team members that ran basically our 984 plus properties in three markets. So go ahead, Brian.
All right, love it. Well, thank you all for being here and look forward to sharing with you some organic lead generation strategies that we've seen be really successful with, both myself as a BDM back in the day and now working with clients to help them hire and train their sales staff. These are some of the strategies that we've seen work, most often and most effectively. I want to kind of go through those with you. At the end, I will definitely have some time for questions. So if you do have some specific questions or, how do I apply this to my business or, how does this work in my market or anything like that, feel free to save those for the end and I'm happy to answer those as we go through. So let's kick it off. So first pillar of organic lead generation is content creation. So this is something that, every property management company can do. And, you really just want to kind of turn it into a process. So starting with content creation, start with the basics. Get yourself a camera, a light, a microphone, teleprompter. All of these things are really straightforward, but they're just going to help make creating content, a lot easier for you. So get yourself a ring light, get yourself a Bluetooth mic, get yourself a teleprompter app is really all you need. Now, as far as, those are some of the basic equipment you need to record your first video. Now, what do you talk about? So, Brian, hey, I know I need to create content. I know content will help me generate leads, but what do I talk about when I get on camera? Well, there's some different resources you can use. One of them is answerthepublic.com. Go to answerthepublic.com, type in the search bar property management, and you will get the most commonly asked questions on Google, the most commonly asked questions on YouTube, and they do have a couple other search engines as well. I think Bing is one of them as well. So you'll find the most commonly asked questions about property management on this site. So again, you go to answerthepublic.com, you type in property management in the search bar, and you'll see the result will be the top asked questions about property management. So that's a quick way to get a topic that you can speak about, just like that. And it'll give you a few dozen actually. Another way to get topics is just talk about your process. What do you guys do to screen a tenant? And it might sound boring or, something that may not be as interesting to, or you might not think it's interesting, but it is. Landlords and your clients, they want to know your process. They want to know, how you screen a tenant, how you handle a maintenance call, how you handle, any aspect of your business. So that's another quick way to come up with a video or other piece of content idea is just talking about your process. Another type of content that plays really well, and this is the example we see here, and I'll show you some more examples on the next slide. But other pieces of content that get a ton of engagement are, the stuff just for fun. Use the filters that are out there. Take advantage of some of the new, technology and filters and, trends that are going around and have fun with it. And if you're the broker or owner of your company listening to this, it does not have to be you necessarily who is creating this content. It could be, someone in your office, could be the front desk person. It could be your leasing agent. It could be, anyone who kind of has a natural proclivity towards this. Next, come up with a script. So you have the basics, you have the topic, now the script. Use ChatGPT. Make it easy for yourself. So you just go to answerthepublic.com, you come up with a question, something like, are property management fees tax deductible? That's one that is searched a whole lot. So you go to ChatGPT, write me a script in 100 words or less that answers the question, are property management fees tax deductible? You get a script, edit it as you see fit, and then use a teleprompter app if you're, not comfortable speaking into the camera necessarily. There are a bunch of different apps and websites that you can use to do that. So you upload your script to the teleprompter, you sit in front of your computer, look at your webcam, and just read through it just like that. And, it can be as simple as that. And if you do that consistently over time, answering the most commonly asked questions by your audience, by your clients, that's when content creation becomes really valuable. When you become seen as the local expert, when you become seen as someone, who speaks intelligently on these topics. But how do we get it done? I'm sure pretty much everyone here knows, or at least is aware, that creating content, creating videos, creating graphics, using Canva, that those things can help us generate leads. But why don't we get it done? Well, for most of us, it's not our favorite thing to do. So it's one of those things that's easily forgotten or easily, missed or pushed off to the next day, next week. So that's why it's incredibly important to time block. Whatever gets in your calendar gets done. What you write in a sticky note or what you write, think in the back of your mind that you want to do, those types of things don't get done. So time block, put that actual time into your calendar to make sure that you're getting it done. When it comes to recording, just understand that you're not going to like it. You're not going to be, perfect your first few times. But if you stay consistent and, you continue to do it, you will get better over time, just like anything else. Now, when it comes to editing, there are some basic edits you want to do. You always want to add captions. You always want to add, maybe some title slides and maybe an end slide as well. CapCut is really easy for editing video. It's, easily allows you to add titles. They have templates, and, we can teach just about anyone how to add the basics of editing video within 10 minutes. And there's plenty of online training to show you how to do it as well. But if you say, hey, I'm not, necessarily technology savvy, or I don't particularly want to edit videos, or you're too busy, whatever it may be, you can use Fiverr, or there's other sites like it. But Fiverr, Fiverr.com, you can hire video editors, typically around $10 to edit a single video, sometimes, a little more, a little less, depending on what you need. But a quick and easy way to get your video content edited. Now, if you can do this consistently, if you can create one video a week for the next year, I will get, and you share it appropriately, share it, get it out there into the world, put it in front of your audiences. If you can do that, I can guarantee you that this will be a strategy that generates you leads, generates you income, new doors, and revenue. So, and we've seen examples of people doing that. This person here is Stacy. She's in St. Louis and she likes making videos. So, that may be you, may not. But, she has fun with it, makes the videos, does them at least once a week, and she consistently shares them into Facebook groups and other places. And in doing that, she's able to consistently get referrals and leads because people know her as the property management girl in St. Louis, or property management woman. And so it's something that builds on itself, and when done consistently can provide a lot of results. It doesn't have to be just video though. If you say, hey, I really am not comfortable in front of the camera, you can also use Canva to create yourself some graphics. So these are some templates that we provide for our clients, but, sharing a template like this, what would my home rent for? Or sharing some of your rental report stats, or sharing comparison of managing yourself versus professional property management. All of these are templates and take a really limited amount of time to put together, but you can share them and you can use them over and over again. So creating content, whether you're using video or whether you're using Canva or something in between, is a great way to consistently stay in front of your audiences and make sure that you have a consistent lead flow coming in organically.
Brian, question. Do
Yeah.
you recommend that you try, like, you really attack one social media at a time, or do you just do them all? Like do I focus on Facebook, or do I just put it on all the social media platforms?
I would try to focus on one, and the one that I would focus on for right now, at least for the time as of right now, with Facebook, because demographically, that's still where most of our audience is. Rental property owners and landlords demographically, a lot of them are on Facebook. TikTok is starting to potentially chip away at that a little bit, and there's some opportunities there. But I would focus on Facebook, utilize those groups, and some of the other tools that they have there. As far as for owners, as far as for realtors and referrals, Instagram is helpful as well. But yeah, do pick one and stick with it. If you're making TikTok videos and you're good at it, stick with TikTok, and lean into that. But in general, Facebook is a good place to start. Okay, awesome. So let's keep rolling here. So another organic lead generation pillar is realtor referrals. And this is something that just about everyone knows, but very few people do it well or do it with a process. And I'm going to kind of break down and walk you guys through the process of how to do this. And if you can, again, if you can implement this in your business and consistently create a process that generates realtor referrals, this can result in an extra, 2, 10, 15 units a month from this strategy. And we've seen clients who have been able to establish these referral relationships with realtors and consistently get business from it. So here's how it works. Step one, identify top referral sources. Don't get a list of every realtor in your market and just start calling them one by one. Figure out who are the people in your market who work with investors. You can look at who sold multifamily properties. You can look at LoopNet, who's selling investment properties there. You can look at Crexi. You can do research on Zillow. You can do research on Bigger Pockets. But however you do it, get yourself a list of top referral sources in your market, those who currently work with investors. There are, investment brokerages out there that focus on helping investors buy investment properties. There are, brokerages that focus just on multifamily properties. There's a lot of ways to identify who are the realtors who work with investors, and some of those I just mentioned. But step one, make yourself a list of realtors who work with investors, because those are going to be the people who are able to consistently refer you business. The agents who do a lot of business, they might be able to refer you one here or there because they may know high net worth individuals or people in rental properties. But start with those who work with investors. Step two, really simple, make a first contact. Now, where people miss is they want that first contact to be email, and they want to email blast out every realtor and say, hey, here's our referral program, here's our referral program. But how many emails do you get every single day? And how many emails do you actually read? So a lot of times those emails that you send out end up just going into the trash and are never seen. The statistic is that 10% of emails are read. So 90% chance your email is going to be missed if you're emailing realtors and saying, refer us business, refer us business. So make that first phone call or make that first contact a phone call. Call that realtor and, the one we know works with investors, and qualify them. Do you already have property management in-house? Would you consider referring business? And figure out, do they already have a situation where they're all set, or are they potentially a good referral partner who can send you business? Next step, build a relationship. This is something that for our clients, we have step-by-step built out in the CRM. So when they add a realtor who could be a good referral source in there, they have steps that they're going to follow to build a relationship with that realtor. It's things like sending them a text message, sending them a video, sending them a piece of content that you've created, leaving them a review on Google. This is one that goes a long way. And I've specifically seen a realtor send a referral because they got this review. And you don't have to lie, but when you meet a realtor who says, hey, yeah, I'm willing to refer you business, or maybe they've sent you a referral, go onto Google, find their brokerage or find their personal Google page, leave them a quick review that says, hey, Pete was great to work with, and all of our experiences speaking together, he's been extremely professional. And something as simple as that. You're not lying. You're not saying he helped me buy a house or something like that. But that Google review is going to make that realtor feel great, and it's going to implore them. It's going to basically, they're going to feel like they have to give you a review or have to give you a referral at this point. So we'll use a little psychology to help with that. And then lastly, nurture and grow this relationship. So if you've ever gotten a referral from a realtor, your very next step should be to contact that realtor and see if you can come by their office and speak to the rest of the group. Because if that agent has, investors in their contacts or works with investors or can refer you business, stands to reason that someone else in their office may be able to as well. So we want to grow that relationship with that agent and also with that brokerage. Okay. So here's some examples. Here's a realtor here, and this is in Orlando. And this company here, SunPro, they actually have a remote team member who helps develop some of the business and helps get some of these referrals. And his name's Diego. And what Diego did is he followed the exact process I just explained. He made a list of realtors in the market who work with investors. He went through and called them following a script that we provided. And he started to identify who were the realtors who can send us business every single month in Orlando. And he was able to do that. And this actual particular referral, it wasn't from the agent he called. It was from someone else in the office, another, agent in that same office who had passed along his contact info. So, even if it's not necessarily the person you call, there's a ton of benefits to putting your name out there and letting people know, hey, we take referrals. And if you're having a referral program, get yourself a giant check. There's nothing more fun than hanging off a giant check and see this guy's big smile. It's a lot of fun. So definitely do it. You can get them at a print shop for like a couple $100 typically. This is Morgan, actually one of I think Cam's here, one of Cam's BDM, and creating a piece of content to share out and let people know, hey, we're here. We pay for referrals. We pay for referrals. This should be something that you consistently post on your social media at least twice a month. And share it out into realtor groups, or share it out, anywhere you can. But let people know we pay for referrals. You may think that everyone already knows, but they may not. Let's see one more here. So down here, this is Yanina, and she is in Connecticut. And same type of thing. She built these relationships mostly through events, or she gathered a contact list through events, figured out who works with investors, and then use that information to make her short list of realtors to reach out to. All right. So make your list of agents who can refer you business consistently, whittle that down to a top 10, 20, or 30, and then really make the point to get all of the referrals from those 20 or 30 agents that you have a really solid relationship with. If they send you one a month, that's 20 or 30 leads a month. That's 10, 15 doors a month. So, think of it like that. All right. Okay, next strategy to talk about are events. This is another one that's fairly straightforward, but if you turn it into a process, it's more effective, and it will go a lot better. Step one, identify relevant events. Look on BiggerPockets. Look on Meetup.com. Look on Eventbrite. Search real estate events. Go to as many as you can. But the key is to identify what are the ones that have the audience that I'm looking for. Are these people showing up for a free lunch, or are they here because they actually are interested in real estate investing? Once you've identified what those events are, sponsor, host them. They can be a great way to generate new business and generate referrals. One of the key things is you have to get the list of attendees. Never sponsor an event if they're not willing to give you the list of attendees to follow up with afterwards. That's huge, and really it's almost not worth it if you can't get the list of attendees. So make sure you clear that in advance. And part of the reason is we have a follow-up strategy. We want to follow up with these, with these attendees afterwards. We want to add them to our CRM, keep in contact with them, and use this as an additional strategy to get referrals and potential clients. So here's a couple examples, and I'll tell you also what not to do. Here, these bottom three examples are of what to do. Find brokerages that are already putting on events and work to sponsor them. This is one that was put on by New Western Acquisitions here in the top right. They invited investors and contractors and folks in that space to give a presentation, and the BDM sponsored it and was able to come and get in front of this group of investors and other related folks and speak. So that's one example. Down here is Morgan. She talked to a realtor who, she made a connection with and was able to get in front of a group of Keller Williams agents and talk to them about the referral program. I'm not sure who this one is here in the bottom left, but it's the same type of deal. They're a breakfast sponsor and speaking to that. Right here, this was the big event. When I was a BDM back in 2017 at Rentworks, we decided that we were going to put on a big event. And we had seen some others do it, and we went all out. We got a huge venue. We got some great speakers. We paid the speakers. We really committed. We knew that it was going to take time to build and get to what we wanted, but we were committed. And we put on all the effort and all the time and a lot of money. But what it turned out is it's a full-time job to run an event like that, to get the sponsors, to get the people, to make sure everything's coordinated and runs smoothly. It is a lot of work. So my suggestion is don't do that. try to define an event that's already established that you want to be a part of and go that route to sponsor or potentially get in front of people. All right. Now we got a couple minutes. I'm gonna run through this last one. And lastly, social media outreach. These four are the top four platforms that you want to use. Bigger pockets, go in, set keyword alerts whenever someone mentions your city. Be the expert. If someone's asking for an attorney or a contractor, let them know who they can reach out to in your market. Just a heads up, anyone on Bigger Pockets is likely a potential client or referral source. Because if they're on Bigger Pockets, they are at least somewhat interested or related to real estate investing. So anyone you see who's from your market, add them as a connection. Next, Facebook groups. In just about every market, there are groups, Houston real estate investors or, Dallas realtors. Join these groups. And a lot of them, you can actually even share your content into these groups. So it's a great way to get your content out there. LinkedIn also makes it easier for you. You can go on LinkedIn, search for real estate investors, and there's in large market, there's a few thousand of them. So add these real estate investors as connections on LinkedIn and use social media to your advantage. We mentioned TikTok. I've been noticing Rosenbaum Realty. They're out of Phoenix, and they've been doing a lot of TikTok videos, and they've grown a pretty good following. So if you're looking for kind of an example of how to potentially do TikTok, maybe check them out because I've been seeing them do pretty well. All right, last slide here, just to give you some examples. Down here is a screenshot of that TikTok account I was mentioning to you. You see here 107,000 views on one of those videos there. Top right here, this is when I go into a Facebook group and I search property management or property manager. Look at this, someone saying, hey, any recommendations for a property manager? Right there. So just a quick search and we find someone. And you might think, well, this is from 2022. But if Ron here owns a rental property in 2022, very likely he owns one in 2025. So I would still be wanting to reach out to him. Bigger Pockets, this is a screenshot from there up here in this top left. This we're actually on a call with the client and I'm showing him how to source leads on Bigger Pockets. And we see this right here. Hey, I'm new to Bigger Pockets. We own over 100 units in San Diego and have always self-managed. Blah, 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 gist of it. Who do you recommend for property management in San Diego? So man, wouldn't you like to see that if you're in San Diego? So whatever city you're in, these posts come up. So you want to make sure you're part of the conversation. All right. Oops. Okay. Lastly, we want to hear from you. If anyone has any questions, feel free to always shoot me an email, brian@bizdevmastermind.com. But without further ado, I think we're up on time, right, Pete? And
Yeah, go ahead and share the next
yeah,
one so they can
absolutely.
so they can
Yeah.
hit that QR code.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to jump in. But if not, or if you'd like to learn a little bit more about how we help clients hire and train business development managers with a focus on results, go ahead and scan that QR code, and that will take you to our Calendly link where you're able to schedule a meeting. No obligation or anything with the meeting. We'd just be happy to tell you guys a little bit more about how we've helped clients like this and others.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, go ahead and throw them in that Q&A question, or I believe we open up the chat bot as well. So you can also do the chat bot here as well. Okay. All right. And while they're doing that, I'm going to take over here.
Sure.
Let's see. Share my screen. And I'll just make this bigger. And oh, there we go. So if you're interested in hiring a virtual team member, so I'll actually be speaking at the BizDev Mastermind on how to set up your assistant BDM through virtual assistant. But if you're interested in hiring a virtual assistant and you want to use our Gold Glove service, go ahead and hit that QR code. And I'll be speaking, or I'll be giving the webinar next month on how to hire top producers. So this is for virtual team members and non-virtual team members. And if you want to schedule that, get that on your calendar, go ahead and hit that bad boy as well. Oh, my presentation is not showing. Can nobody see my screen? Were you guys able to see my screen?
It looked like it was like your desktop screen.
Oh, Thank you. All right, hold on. How about now? Can everybody see it now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So if you hit that, and I think, and if you want to schedule a meeting with me, it's right there. Let's see. Anybody have any questions? Let's see. Got that. Got that. All right. I think we're good. It's not a talkative bunch today. On up. What are your thoughts on SEO and PPC?
Yeah, absolutely. SEO definitely really important to have. Make sure that your website is as optimized as possible, and don't try to do it on your own. Hire a third-party company unless you're a web developer, have that training. So yeah, really is important. I've seen Upkeep Media do well, but you can also find local companies that really specialize in your market that can do well as well. As far as PPC, I would not recommend spending too much on that. Is companies that specialize in finding property management leads, like Hall Property Management, or Geek Marketing, they do pretty well. But there's still issues with that competition and just overall conversion rate. So one thing I would say, do not hire someone who specifically is going to run Google Ads for you, because I've seen I can think of at least 6 companies off the top of my head who've done that and have lost a lot of money and gotten basically no results. So kind of my thoughts on PPC. It can be helpful, but it's kind of a cherry on top type strategy.
Brian, if I'm limited in funds as far as like to invest, do
Mhm.
you recommend investing in marketing first or investing in a sales BDM type person who can go out and get their own leads first?
The way we look at it is for a small property management company managing 3 to 500, maybe 800 units, looking to hire their first salesperson, that person kind of has to be both. And so they're coming in to close the leads that you got, but they're also coming in to help you generate more. And if you give them the exact instructions and process on how to do that, they can do that. I know there's like a little bit of difference between marketing salesperson type personality, but having someone, a sales type person who can close the leads, and then giving them the plan and the strategy of how to generate more for the business, that's kind of the route we go. But if you can afford to hire a salesperson or a marketing person, that'd be great. But for us, we kind of focus on someone who can do a little bit of both.
Got it.
Mhm.
All right. I think that's it. No other questions, everybody? All right, Brian, I think you are the first one to actually be on time with our presentation. Everybody usually goes over about 2 or 3, 4 or 5 minutes, but we are on time. All
Very
right. Well
good.
done. All right. Thanks
Thanks.
everybody for joining on this webinar. We'll get the video out we'll get the video out to everybody and we'll upload it as well. So if you wanted to rewatch it, whatever, all good. All right, Brian, Stephanie, thanks so much. See you everybody.
Thanks for having us. Bye bye.